The best decision I ever made was to follow my passion, which was really trying to be entrenched in a community to help be a problem solver, to bring resources to individuals and communities that need it the most.
Nominating Kenya for the Athena Award, I think, was actually a very easy decision. She is just so invested in people's lives. She's a very kind, caring person that has done so much for the community and so much for the bank that when we heard about the award, she came to mind immediately.
Kenya played a very pivotal role in the creation and foundation of the launch of BNY Mellon's Pathways program, which is a program aimed at helping the most vulnerable people in our communities, both in the United States and the UK, and then it expanded on to India. By the end of the program in 2015, nearly 80% of the U.S. participants had graduated from high school, had their GED.
I created the BNY Mellon Coro Executive Fellowship as an opportunity to provide people from diverse backgrounds with the experience and tools they need to be able to compete for some of the jobs within philanthropy.
She's involved with many different things. I think she sits on 4 different boards, and each one of them is special in and of its own right. So she doesn't really separate groups. She doesn't hold one group above the other. She's trying to advance all the groups within the society.
I expect 2 things from my mentees. 1, to always pay it forward, and 2, to always make sure that they invest in themselves. That's when you can tell the difference between someone who is ready and someone who is not. I am so proud of my mentees to make sure they got out of their comfort zone and challenge themselves in ways they have not been challenged before, which is exactly what my mentor has done for me.
I think Kenya has had a tremendous impact in how we think about our relationship to the community. Kenya has helped us see ourselves as not just business people, but as community leaders, as community members, and we have used our resources through her and her ideas to do more and more in the community. And that impact isn't just now, that impact is lasting.
She's been in many different mentoring programs, whether it's Impact, which is really for elevating people of multicultural backgrounds, whether it's WIN, which is our women's initiation. She's mentored young women who've moved on in their careers.
And she's inspiring others. She's being inspired by others. And there's a definite cycle, a definite, very positive upward cycle that happens when we reach out, touch others, and see that result, bring it back, and play it forward again and again. Kenya is that kind of person.
One thing I would like to communicate to young women is to always be prepared. One of my favorite quotes is, "By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail." And that is some advice that I received from one of my mentors. You never know when opportunity will present itself, so make sure you take the time to invest in yourself so when opportunity is there, you are prepared to seize the day.
The Athena Award recognizes smart, insanely competent, excellent women who give back and have made a huge impact on the community. And Alana embodies all of that.
I guess the best decision that I made was moving back to Pittsburgh. I have to say, I think it was the impetus for everything that I do now. Entrepreneurship has really been, I think, at the core of the Renaissance in Pittsburgh. It's just amazing. I mean, look at this community that we're in. There are startups, if you walk out the door and walk for 50 yards, you're going to run into a startup. It's just amazing.
When we started Elf Lab Gear, it was one of the first hardware accelerators in the world. And this is a program that helps entrepreneurs launch physical product companies and build new companies around it. And it's really received international acclaim from so many organizations. It's been named one of the top startup accelerators for women. In addition to that, Alana created a program called the International Hardware Cup that sends the best hardware entrepreneurs from around the world to Pittsburgh for their finals. And those, I think, illustrate just 2 examples of how innovative and creative she is, and how when Alana puts her mind behind something, it's a world-class initiative.
My passion is introducing entrepreneurship more widely. I really believe that entrepreneurship is a path to independence and to success for a wide variety of people.
Entrepreneurship is really difficult. And I think the difference between success and failure is having a great mentor who gives solid advice and who's willing to really get to know you and cares about you both professionally and personally, really wants you to be successful. And for many local entrepreneurs, myself included, Alana is exactly that.
I think being a mentor means helping people find their own best solution to a problem. Sometimes it can be really tempting to want to give the advice that you would take, but I think taking the time to understand that person's priorities and what's important to them and helping them reach a decision that's right for them, I think that's what being a mentor is all about.
Alana gives back to the community in so many different ways. First off, she leads a major program for a nonprofit that just supports so many new first-time entrepreneurs and teens that want to opt into entrepreneurship. Secondly, she volunteers for a lot of different organizations. She's an advisor to Uprise. She's on the board of Winchester Thurston Schools, Propel Schools, Jewish Community Center. She has started organizations like PowerLink. It's a program that supports female professionals and is now in over 25 cities around the country.
And so what I would say to young women is, every day if you can think about what is really important today and what you're going to do well today, you do the best you can at that for today, and you don't let yourself feel bad about all the other roles that you're playing that aren't perfect today.
Jamie gives this energy to everything that she does, and the energy brings with it this ability to strategically look out for people. She connects people in a way that advances those individuals. She has been involved with the Sarah Hines House for years and has talked about it and has brought innovative ideas to the Sarah Hines House, creating an associate board for the Sarah Hines House.
My passion is definitely connecting people. So figuring out what people need or want and helping them find a way to do it.
Jamie was asked by a client to run for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Woman of the Year. The cause was fantastic. It was something that a lot of people have had, some touch to, and Jamie led the march.
And I raised $38,000 in one evening. And it was through connecting people and bringing them back to where they started, and everyone just loved seeing each other, and it was this wonderful, wonderful evening for a great cause.
She takes that strategic thinking to everything that she does. So she serves on the national WLC. She went to a conference called Alley to the Valley, and she went to it in Los Angeles. And she was in Los Angeles, and she called me. She said, "We have to do this in Pittsburgh." She came back, and she created it for the city of Pittsburgh. So she brought it to Pittsburgh and created an event where a number of women, 40 or 60 women, got in a room and had discussions about how we can help each other.
And so we held that conference last November, and the outcomes from it, I can cry thinking about all of the different people who connected that day. If you have a need, if you are in the Alley to the Valley group and you have a need, those women are going to help you. They're going to help you. And so that, to me, I always call it, that was my Christmas morning.
She's tireless, and you see how much she attacks everything in life, and you model that.
When I was at Reed Smith, I was in charge of the Women's Initiative, and so I felt like I was sort of a mentor to all of the women, the younger women at the firm. So they would come to me with issues. It's difficult. Being a lawyer, being a female lawyer is not that easy. We've made great strides, but we need to make even more. So I changed the Women's Initiative to focus on business development from a very young stage of the associate. So I think it's a mindset of always thinking about business opportunities. And so I did workshops and mentoring, both one-on-one, and then having career coaches come in to help the women.
So there's a question about, do you live to work or work to live? It's funny, because if you think of Jamie, it's all merged together. She just lives.
It's a privilege to be successful and to be a professional. I really look at it as a privilege, and I think we have an obligation when we live in a community such as this one to give back to it.
everybody should have a chance. Everybody that wants a chance to succeed should have an opportunity to do so.
She's made such a tremendous impact in her community, not only locally, but also across the state and nationally through her service. She's a natural leader. She is always mentoring other women, bringing them along, and really just, she embodies the spirit of the award.
We came up with a project whereby they converted a dorm that had very, very low occupancy into a dorm that would house women who had children that had the grades and the desire to attend a college. The lives that you change, not just the mom's life, but going forward, that child's life is forever changed.
She's active in the community. She's on the RAD board, Regional Asset Development Board. So money that's gathered from taxpayers, she's sitting on a board in allotting money to various arts groups, particularly.
In her tenure here at Eden Hall Foundation, she has stewarded and led more than $15 million worth of investment in women and girls projects, leaving a significant imprint on women and girls across our region. She had started a Women in Philanthropy group with Grantmakers of Western Pennsylvania several years ago that helped connect women with philanthropic causes across industries, so the business community, nonprofits, philanthropy, the community in general, that has helped women to make smarter and greater investments in causes around our region.
Disadvantaged kids, boys and girls, are just at the heart of what she